Hi everyone, welcome to today's webinar, Getting the Most Out of Your Performance Marketing, where we'll share updates, learnings, and best practices for performance marketing on Instagram. Thanks so much for joining us. My name is Martha Chang, and I'm on the Instagram Partner Marketing team. Today I'm joined by Megan Bristol and Jim Hu from our Product Marketing team. Megan is responsible for product marketing of Instagram's direct response ad solutions, and Jim is Product Marketing Manager for the Instagram Ads platform. Together, we'll take you through today's content. A lot has changed on Instagram in the past year, and we do our best to keep you informed of the updates we make to products and why. In today's webinar, we'll review these updates and what they mean for your clients' performance marketing campaigns on Instagram. Additionally, you'll hear our latest recommendations for running campaigns across the Facebook family of apps. We'll show you how high intent on Instagram can drive value for your clients and how you can get the most out of your direct response campaigns. This should all take about 25 minutes, after which we'll open it up for questions and answers. Today's topics are drawn from your questions and feedback from the Instagram presentations at the Global Partner Summit. And today's session will be available on demand on Blueprint within 48 hours. As questions come to mind throughout the webinar, please feel free to enter them in the questions window within your webinar control panel. We'll compile your top questions throughout the session and cover them at the end. In order to organize and address the most frequently asked topics, we won't take any new questions once we start Q&A, so please get them in as they come to mind. With that, I'll hand it off to Megan to take us through the first part of the presentation.
Thanks, Martha. Let's go ahead and get started. As many of you likely know, just over a year ago, we launched the Instagram Ads API, expanding Instagram into a full funnel marketing solution. It was a really exciting time for the business, transitioning from being live in a handful of countries to all countries, and expanding advertising access from a few hundred advertisers to hundreds of thousands. To give context, we made the decision because since day one, businesses have been a core part of the Instagram community and have always used our platform to connect to people. In fact, nearly half of the Instagram community follows a business. 60% of people learn about products and services on Instagram, and 75% of people take action after being inspired by a post. Now, taking an action can take many forms. It can mean visiting a website for more information, searching for something specific that has been seen in a post, shopping or making a purchase, or even telling a friend about a post. Some of our best product launches have come from looking at how the Instagram community is using the platform organically. Before we introduced direct response advertising solutions last year, we saw that people were trying to find ways to act and transact based on posts and ads they were seeing on Instagram. People were using comments to request more information from advertisers. They clicked off site via the links in advertisers' profiles. And we even saw lifts in search volume for products that were being advertised. In order to address this community behavior and to connect it to advertiser objectives, we started building direct response advertising solutions. 1 year later, we are really thrilled by the progress and momentum we see with our business partners. In just a few months, over 1.5 million businesses have created profiles, a sign that marketers around the world are eager to grow their presence on our platform. Beyond the organic presence, businesses are also getting real value out of Instagram ads. Together, we've brought over 500,000 advertisers onto the platform, and in the last 6 months, we added more advertisers than we had in the previous 6. We are proud to have advertisers of all sizes, from the broadest spectrum of industries, including financial services, consumer products, automotive, and gaming companies. They're using Instagram to build their brands as much as they are to acquire new customers. Now, a lot of people were skeptical that Instagram could drive direct response objectives since clicking off site isn't an organic behavior. But 1 year later, the community has proven the skeptics wrong. The community has taken over 1 billion actions since we launched. This success can be attributed to the fact that we now have a full funnel solution and can drive results across awareness, consideration, or conversion objectives. The success can also be attributed to the fact that shoppers are really active on Instagram. We took a closer look at the way people that shop online use Instagram, and it turns out that they visit Instagram 6 out of 7 days of the week and consume twice as much content than non-shoppers. Over the last year, Instagram has become an essential mobile platform to help advertisers drive real business results across on and offline objectives. To qualify this success, our marketing science team recently ran a number of lift studies across multiple DR objectives to shed light on our effectiveness. 70% of campaigns saw a lift in individuals who took an action, and 78% of mobile app install campaigns saw a lift in installs. Our effectiveness isn't contained to just online objectives either. We recently partnered with Oracle to measure the per household purchase changes resulting from our ads. We saw a 2% lift to in-store sales and almost 3% lift in household penetration of the brand. While those percentages look low, they're actually over 2 times Oracle's norms. Now, those results are exciting, but it's important to understand how we were able to get there. Instagram has always been a place for visual inspiration, but now I want to walk you through how we have evolved our ad products to help marketers turn that inspiration into action. When we first launched ads on Instagram, DR performance was varied, and this was expected since the community was now able to take a new action on the platform and our algorithms were in their infancy. To help us understand which product changes could improve performance, once again, we started by looking at the community's organic behavior. We commissioned a third-party eye tracking study and found that most users keep their gaze to the left-hand side of the feed when consuming content. If you remember our very first link ad on Instagram, you'll see that our call to action button was on the right. So we took this insight back to our design team and redesigned the ad unit to optimize for the community experience, making it easier for people to take an action with an expanded offsite link button and started to display the call to action on the left-hand side. Also, to help the community understand they can drive off-site from link ads, we now highlight the call to action button when they show interest on the ad. For example, the call to action button will highlight blue when a person dwells on an ad for 4 seconds, likes an ad, or taps on the profile name. We know that marketers want to drive the maximum number of actions, clicks, installs, or conversion that lead to outcomes that drive their business objectives on Instagram. As a result, Instagram link ads allow consumers to see content and take action in additional places throughout the Instagram session. For example, we now extend an ad's call to action button to an advertiser's profile page and comment section when a user clicks through from an ad. As you can see, Instagram link ads are uniquely optimized to drive advertiser performance. With these solutions, link ads are better optimized for how community interacts with the businesses on the platform and has driven a 45% increase in performance since our original launch. Nanigans worked with us to test those format changes, and they delivered remarkable results from clients like CVS, shown here, Amazon, Hopper, and Under Armour. In fact, Nanigans clients saw improvements across conversion, install, and click-through rates. By learning with us, Nanigans put their clients at the forefront of performance on Instagram. Now, our work isn't done yet. We are continuing to look for ways to optimize the experience, including format enhancements to our carousel unit in 2017. Carousel link ads drive 30 to 50% lower CPAs on average as compared to standard link ads on Facebook. As you can see, while they name the same, the carousel ad on Instagram looks and performs much differently than Facebook's carousel ad. As a result, we will be testing a variety of features over the next few months. This includes things like creative optimization, additional cards, card peek, and auto-scrolling. Now I'm going to pass it over to Jim Hu to talk about our compatibility with Facebook and the efficiencies you can achieve by running across both platforms.
Great, thank you, Megan. And good morning, good afternoon, everybody. So since we launched our self-serve platform, we've learned a lot about how users and advertisers have responded about across Facebook, Instagram, and Audience Network. And really to get our full funnel of solutions, we focused on driving compatibility with Facebook. And so if your client only runs campaigns on Facebook, we've started to make it really easy to extend that campaign to new audiences on Instagram. So I wanted to walk you through some of the things that we've been doing in terms of making sure that formats are compatible across both platforms. So compatibility with, so when we launched our self-serve platform, we also started with a handful of objectives, such as guaranteed impressions, video views, website clicks, and mobile app installs and engagement. Now, if you fast forward to today, you'll see that most of the objectives that you can activate on Facebook are also available on Instagram. In fact, we've rounded out our ad objectives across a full funnel of solutions from awareness down to conversions. And with the Facebook family scale, advertisers have more options to drive business outcomes that are pretty unparalleled in the industry. Now, compatibility with Facebook also extends to tools for optimization and measurement. In 2015, when we launched with a core set of metrics from which advertisers could measure the impact of their campaigns. But in 2016, this year, we extended our tools to include improving return on ad spend and conversions for DR advertisers. So really a focus on the DR conversion part. And in the year ahead, in 2017, we'll be looking at ways to extend measurement from the online world to the offline world to help advertisers track outcomes, especially within stores. So compatibility isn't just limited to ads and ad objectives. And we wanted to ensure Instagram's core use case as a platform for visual storytelling is also consistent across platforms. And so we've moved away from the iconic square image that defined Instagram since launch. And our community of users and advertisers were ready for the change and have really embraced a lot of that change. And that's particularly true for video. We've evolved formats to embrace landscape, and we've extended our video length to 60 seconds. So users and advertisers have a greater canvas for creativity. Now, while we're on the topic of creative compatibility, I think it's important also to talk a little more about how creative compatibility is also an important driver of advertiser success across platforms. Now, visual communication is the currency of Instagram, and that means creative is the key to advertiser success. Now, in the past year, we've learned a great deal about what makes for great, effective creative on Instagram. And with your help, advertisers are telling their stories and driving results. Now, overall, we've learned that there's no one-size-fits-all approach to creative on Instagram. A variety of approaches work, and depending on the advertiser's objective, target audience, and message. Now, to better understand what makes for good, effective creative on Instagram, we recently worked with Metrics Labs to test a number of creative approaches. And in particular, we asked a group of 2,400 Instagram users to rate a series of ads shown on the Instagram feed. Some of those ads were originally developed for Instagram, while others had originally been created for Facebook. So, for example, the Gatorade ad shown on the left was originally developed for Facebook. Now, as part of this test, we showed it to a number of other Facebook ads in the Instagram feed. And based on user ratings, we found no significant difference in the performance of ads developed specifically for Instagram versus those originally developed for Facebook. Both creative approaches worked just as well across the following dimensions of memory and recall, likability and relevance, and stated intent and impact. So in other words, creative that performs well on Facebook should perform well on Instagram too. Now, of course, we recognize there are many instances where a unique creative approach makes sense, especially considering Instagram's unique strengths in creative expression and consumer passions. Now, many advertisers develop custom creative with the help of content marketing partners, and we've seen that approach work really well. So there's no one-size-fits-all creative approach, and everything we've learned suggests there's flexibility to do what makes the most sense for your clients across both platforms. Okay, so you've seen how much the Instagram team is working on compatibility with Facebook in areas like ad objectives, measurement, and creative. We've done a lot of heavy lifting to make it easier for your clients to reach their user targets in a way that drives true business performance. So now I'm going to show you how that compatibility translates into a set of tactics to help you meet your clients' campaign objectives. Now, the beauty of advertising on Facebook means you have an easy avenue to reach large global audiences across other properties such as Instagram and Audience Network. And that's why our pursuit of compatibility is so important. It gives you more avenues for your campaign to find the right audiences at the right time. And with the Facebook family of apps and services, this reach gives you access to more qualified audiences, resulting in the right outcomes at a lower price. Let me show you what I mean. Now, when you're advertising across all our placements, Facebook, Instagram, Audience Network, you have the opportunity to reach people no matter where they are at the most efficient costs. A single auction and delivery system powers ads across Facebook, Instagram, and across publishers on the Audience Network. So when there's an opportunity to show an ad to a person on any of these platforms, we run an auction in the same way. Opting into more placements can actually result in better overall delivery and performance. Now in this illustration, we see ads running across the Facebook family of apps and services to improve efficiency. And this is just to show the benefit of opting into more placements. So I would ask you not to draw conclusions about relative average costs by the diagram here, but this is more of a broader illustration. So say you're running an ad on Facebook, you'll see some variance in your cost per outcome over the course of your campaign. Now the same thing is true when you add on Instagram and the Audience Network. Now when you add on more placements, we're able to deliver impressions efficiently across the inventory of all these placements. And as your campaign runs, our system will try to get you the lowest cost per outcome wherever it's available on any placement. So this means when you opt into running ads across the Facebook family of apps and services, your overall cost per outcome, if you're optimizing especially for video views, website conversions, website clicks, or mobile app installs, that overall cost per outcome should be the same or lower than when you're running on individual placements separately. So I'll explain what I mean in more detail with the following illustration. Let's say you run a company that sells shorts. We'll call your company Adam Shorts, and you're looking to spend $80 on a campaign to drive conversions for your summer line of new shorts. Sometimes buying across placements can result in breakout reports that appear to discourage a specific placement for DR objectives. Now in this example, you see buying across Facebook and Instagram together results in 17 sales at an average cost of $471 per conversion. Now in a breakout report, you notice that Instagram drove 4 sales at an average of $550. Some advertisers incorrectly interpret these results to mean they should drop Instagram and stick to Facebook, where the average conversion was only $446. Well, probably not a great idea, because removing Instagram reduces overall placement availability. Facebook will have fewer low-cost positions available and will have to search higher for results. So for Adam in this example, turning off Instagram results in 1 fewer conversions and an average cost increase of around 6.2%. That being said, we're seeing these types of efficiencies across a growing number of objectives available on Facebook and Instagram. And we recently ran an analysis comparing the performance of running ad sets across the Facebook family of apps and services to those that ran independently on Facebook mobile newsfeed and Instagram. And based on those tests and ongoing results, we recommend advertising across the family of apps and services for most brand and DR objectives, as you see here. Most advertisers who opt into running Facebook, Instagram, and Audience Network have seen better performance for brand objectives in particular. And we've also seen better performance as well for an increasing number of these DR objectives that we're recommending. To highlight that point, for website conversions, we ran studies that showed a 4% improvement in conversions versus running on Facebook alone. In addition, the same study showed a 6% improvement in mobile app installs compared to running on Facebook alone. So that being said, we're constantly learning about the performance benefits of running across our family of apps and services, and we will continue to share what we uncovered with you guys. So we believe advertising across our family of apps and services is the most efficient way to achieve outcomes that drive real business results. But we also recognize that this shouldn't be a one-size-fits-all approach, and that one-size-fits-all approach doesn't work for everybody, especially for clients that are looking for more custom ways to measure their outcomes. So I wanted to give you some recommendations about criteria for when to run ads separately. You should consider that if your client has dedicated budgets or wants predictable delivery on Facebook or Instagram specifically, or if your client seeks control over where their ads appear, and if they're looking for outcomes that Facebook cannot optimize for, such as LTV. Now, in these cases, it makes the most sense to run the campaigns separately. But as always, test these campaigns across our platforms and through our various systems to determine the best way for you to activate and reach your campaign goals. And so to wrap it up, this is giving you some perspectives in terms of how you can best activate across our family of apps and services in the most efficient manner.
Cool. So that concludes the presentation, and this will be available on demand within 48 hours, along with other previous webinars. We'll now open it up for Q&A. We've gotten some questions throughout the session to ask our presenters. So the first question, for placement-optimized carousel campaigns, what happens when an advertiser chooses no CTA button on the Facebook carousel ad?
Great question. So for ad sets that run across both Instagram and Facebook, if you select no button, your ad will display with no call to action button on Facebook, but will display with a learn more by default on Instagram. We do this because call to action buttons are required on Instagram in order to signal to users that your ad is clickable. Longer term, instead of doing learn more by default, we'd like to let advertisers select the CTA specifically for Instagram, but we haven't rolled that out yet.
Cool. Next question, how do we collapse captions for ads?
Sure. So we have implemented a feature across both ads and organic content that allows for the collapse and expansion of captions after 3 lines of text. By collapsing captions at 3 lines and giving people a really easy way to expand them in line and feed, we saw an overall increase in feed experience by allowing people to scroll much more quickly, but still allows them to easily tap in to read more. So our recommendation based on this change is to have a caption length around 125 characters with a maximum length of 2,200 characters. Now, if you're at all concerned about people seeing a collapsed caption on your ad, we continue to stand by the recommendation that utilizing 125 character length as the best option.
All right, next question. Will there ever be options for advertisers to target specific Instagram pages like we can do on Facebook?
Yeah, so all of the signals that happen on Instagram, which we have quite a few of, are folded into the larger Facebook interest targeting. So while you can't target specifically a page, if it's a brand and it's an interest on Facebook, the data that we collect is fed into that algorithm and system.
Cool. And why are we pulling in an Add CTA button to a profile account?
Sure. So we're extending the CTA button to an advertiser's Instagram profile page only when a person clicks the profile link on an ad. So as part of our analysis to understand how we can continue to drive performance increases, we learned that a lot of people were clicking on an ad's profile link and then clicking on the shortened link in the bio section of the profile. Again, this was a kind of legacy behavior for when we didn't have links on ads. But since the shortened link often led to content that really wasn't unrelated to the ad, this product enhancement really helps improve the community experience as well as the overall click-through rate from an ad.
Next question. What's the difference between a regular Instagram profile and a business profile?
Yeah, I'll take that. So we've made like 3 subtle yet important changes to your profile in an effort to give you more advanced functionality while also preserving the visual nature of Instagram. So I'll break it down. First, you now have the ability to have a contact button. So that enables your customers to more easily call, text, email, get directions to you. Second, I would say we placed your address front and center, allowing customers to quickly discover where your business is. And then third, we pulled in your industry information. So your customers immediately know like what type of business you run.
And if I convert to a business profile, will I lose functionality?
I'll take that too. By switching to a business profile, you will retain all of your posts, likes, comments, followers. But one restriction I say is from converting is that you will only be able to like cross-post to Facebook through the page you are connected to, and not to the other pages nor like to a profile. So another restriction is you must have your profile set to a public account. And you can always switch back to a personal profile as well.
Great. So that concludes the question portion of today's webinar. Please take a few minutes to fill out the short survey as you leave. And additionally, take advantage of the training resources and webinars on the Blueprint portal on the page for partners. Thanks so much for your time and hope you have a great day.